Line, running back, defense. I know this is going to be 2 great months of arguments and no, draft him. No, draft the best lineman. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's set this big board. I got 8 prospects for you guys right now. Draft season is my season. It's my season to be blessed. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy, Footsdaking, as always. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Now, draft season is my season. It really is. It's my season to be blessed. God gave me a promise. We're going to draft the best. Hey, listen. He has a blessing with the Cowboys name on it. All right, now, enough gospel, even though you can really never get enough gospel. But the truth of the matter is this. I do love these conversations. O-line, running back, have original thoughts. That's all I'm asking. But I do love the conversations because at the end of the day, there are people out there who are scared. They watched right guard and Zach Martin fall off a cliff. They watched Tyler Guyton not be developed. But I'm here to tell you guys, if you listen to Will Hernandez this week, and I was actually just texting with Jeff Kavanaugh, and we were just talking about, like, man, what if these Cowboys on this roster weren't coached correctly last year? Everybody on the offensive line took a step back. Terrence Steele took a step back. Tyler Smith took a step back. And I think that so many of us were spoiled by Tyler Smith's early success. Comes out. Nobody wanted to draft him. He's very successful early. And then before you know it, you draft Tyler Guyton, and he's taking a little bit. But I got to tell you, Olu Fashanu, he didn't even play half as many snaps as Tyler Guyton. He couldn't get on the field over an old Tyron Smith, Tyron Smith with the Jets. And even, I mean, guys, in last year's class was considered better than this class. So I just, to me, you look at a guy like Joe Alt in L.A. Joe Alt gave up 6 sacks. Tyler Guyton gave up 6 sacks. Now, he was graded better than Tyler Guyton, but the truth of the matter is, let's get these guys developed. Let's get these guys coached up. That's why I'm going skill. My mindset isn't going to change. I want to get a skill player or defense. We haven't talked about defense, and I will talk about some names on this list, defensive-wise, that could really help this Cowboys team. We got to remember, Matt Eberflus is here. He runs a similar scheme to Mike Zimmer, but personnel-wise, maybe he may want a guy in here. Maybe this front office may say, you know what, let's get a guy in here. Let's help out in free agency on the offense side of the ball, or they may flip it. Let's help out in free agency on the defense side of the ball. Let's draft offense. But before we get to that, this video is brought to you guys by BetUS. All your betting needs. Obviously, the Cowboys aren't a Super Bowl, but any Super Bowl play that you have, the BetUS motherboard can help you. Like, it's awesome. All these plays, I'm sure they have a how long will Kendrick Lamar perform? How many times will he perform? They're not like us. I mean, they probably have all these plays. So you guys check out BetUS. BetUS, all your betting needs. Thank you, BetUS, for sponsoring this channel. Okay, let's set the table. The table is this. 8 prospects who should be on the Cowboys big board at 12. Now, with some of these prospects, I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to say, Foots, there's no way that they'll be there. But if they are, because CeeDee Lamb was there, Micah Parsons was there. Like, this happens every single year. Justin Jefferson got drafted 24 because the league makes mistakes. Who are some of the players that fit with the Cowboys and why? Let's talk about this Cowboys big board. Number 1, Ashton Jeanty. You guys know how I feel about Jeanty. His superpower is he really doesn't have any weaknesses. He was a great pass catcher in 2023, an amazing pass catcher. Great run in pass pro. Great runner. Okay, amazing runner. 151 forced missed tackles. That's just incredible. 1,900 yards after first contact. Ashton Jeanty doesn't have many weaknesses. He comes in, you plug him in, your run game is instantly better. Number 2, Mason Graham. Mason Graham is the one. His superpower is size and speed. Now, when you say Michigan defensive tackle, will Cowboys fans love that? No, they won't. And the reason why Mason Graham could possibly fall is it's not a sexy pick. It's not a sexy pick for the Cowboys. It's not a sexy pick for the Raiders. Quick technical difficulties because my mic is still acting goofy. Lord, why? Get home, boom. But yeah, like I was saying, we're going to go back to the OG mic. this will hold it down. Just got to make sure that you guys can hear me clearly and cleanly. Again, Mason Graham isn't sexy. Like, he's not a sexy pick. But, again, teams are bad at drafting. And I'll say this. Teams like the Raiders, there are teams at the top of this class, trust me, that have to get the fan base excited. So you look at the Raiders. They should probably draft a Mason Graham. There's other teams in the top 10 that probably should draft a Mason Graham. But let's say a Jackson Dart is getting a lot of love and he gets bumped into that first half of the draft or whatever the case may have you. It could happen. That's the quarterback tax. So I think that he's a name that needs to be on the Cowboys' radar. Number 3, James Pierce. James Pierce, for me, guys, I can honestly say is going to be the forgotten about defensive end, but I will not forget about this kid. This kid can play. Now, yes, he did not have the same sack production that he did last year in 2023. Okay, 10 sacks in 2023, 7 sacks in 2024, but it's the tackles for loss. He became a much better run defender, and I think that people have to understand that part of it. You have to play the run as a defensive end in today's NFL. The pendulum has swung back. Okay, run defense is important. Running the ball is important on offense. It's not all about sacks. It's not all about flying upfield. So a guy like Mike Green, right now, he's the flavor of the month until teams cut on the film and see, okay, how will a 250-pound defensive end year one translate to the league? I'm trying to find a defensive end that can press the run early on. We have Michael who can get upfield. We have a couple other players that can blitz and that can get upfield. We need to be able to stop the run at all costs, and I think that James Pierce, he showed that he can do that. I'm trying to find this year's Jared Verse, a player that teams forget about. All he did was put good tape on tape, like good film on tape, and he can play. And I think that James Pierce may be that guy. Number 4. And I wrote this down, a route running somebody. Matthew Golden. If he goes to the combine and runs a 4.38 40, I just got to tell you guys, man, don't be surprised if he climbs up boards. There are probably teams that have him above some of these receivers, Emeka, Luther Burden right now. The route running, the route pacing, the route stemming. If he has a good combine, he moves a certain way, he looks a certain way, don't be surprised. And I think the Cowboys should be considering him, especially, with news getting out that they do want to go receiver in the first 2 rounds. They need to consider Matthew Golden. Number 5, Ted McMillan. Remember what I just told you guys? It could be one little thing that gives a team pause. It could be selling tickets. It can be, with Ted, it could be, is he a long, lumbering receiver that might not fit our scheme? Is he more Drake May than Mike Evans, who are both fine players, but it's clear Mike Evans is a cut above Drake. I said Drake May, Drake London. It's a difference. Both bigger receivers, true X's. Which one is he? Teams will have pause with that. I got to be honest, I love Ted McMillan. The likelihood of him falling isn't high, but it could happen. What was the likelihood of CeeDee Lamb falling out of the top 10? It happened. The rest is history. So you have to be prepared for everything because that's the draft. The draft is chaos. You love the chaos that is the draft. And I think that if Ted fell to 12, you'd have to have that conversation. His superpower is his ball tracking and his fluidity. Number 6, a name and a player that when I went back and actually watched the Senior Bowl tape and team, when you watch team and you watch Shamar Stewart, he was the best defensive player at the Senior Bowl. Love Mike Green, love the highlight stuff, but when you watch Shamar Stewart, he was the best Senior Bowl athlete there. Like, now, the sacks, the production over his career at Texas A&M, it wasn't there. I mean, his teammate Nick Scorton had a lot more production than him. But Shamar Stewart is going to track as a better pro because of his pro. He has a pro body right now. Like, he looks the part. He's the first off the bus type guy, and he plays the run really, really well. Again, the pendulum is swung, guys. These defensive ends have to be able to play the run well, and a guy like Matt Eberflus would love somebody like Shamar Stewart because he's the polar opposite of Micah Parsons, so it's kind of that yin and that yang, more DeMarcus Lawrence-esque. Number 7, the curious case of Luther Burden III. Luther Burden III, his superpower is 100% yak. 100% yak. I think that in the right scheme, that's perfect. With the right OC, that's perfect. The thing that scares me about Burden is you just can't hang him on the outside and say go win, because that's not how he wins. I didn't see many long routes on his film as far as like corner routes, post corners, drag. You did see drag, but you didn't see deep end breakers, deep comeback. That just wasn't on his film. A lot of that could have been schemed, because I get it. You're Missouri. You got a kid like this who can break a lot of tackles. You just want to get him the ball right now, let him go. But that's not the NFL. In the NFL, yes, he does have yak ability, but he'll also need to be able to run routes. I think that he's on the Cowboys board, but I do have questions. Number 8, the same thing that I said about Luther Burden is you flip that to the defense side of the ball, Jalen Walker. Love Jalen Walker. Absolutely, positively love Jalen Walker. But the thing that does scare me about Jalen Walker is what's his true position. Okay, played off ball last year, was a defensive end the year before. He has some rush ability. He's just not polished. He actually would be comp to a poor man's Micah Parsons. In a trade back situation, you would love to have a guy like this, because you do need linebacker help. You also have the linebacker whisperer in Matt Eberflus. You have a great new D-line coach that you just added from the Jets, who's developed guys like, he developed Bryce Huff. He developed Will McDonald. So you have that. And if he can get the most out of a guy like Jalen Walker, you feel good about it. The thing is, what's his true position and what's your plan for him if you do draft him? But I do think that he's on the Cowboys board, and he makes a lot of sense. So those are my 8 athletes that I feel like these are the Cowboys. These are who these guys are targeting. Who do you guys think the Cowboys are targeting? What do you guys think about this video? What do you guys think about these prospects? Let me know, Foots, you're off, or Foots, this kind of makes sense. Is there some athletes that you may have on that will be on the Cowboys big board that I didn't mention? Let's talk about it in the comments. As always, thank you all for liking, sharing, subscribing. It's your boy Foots. I cannot do this without you guys. I love you all. Peace.